I have experienced a lot in life, and I know what it feels like to feel overwhelmed, to feel anxious, to feel afraid. Happy New Year to you. Thank you. I know what it's like to be confused. And where are my overthinkers? Drop the hand emoji if you have an overthinker. Okay, this is the overthinking tribe. Yes, absolutely. When you are very analytical, you try to use your mind to resolve any dissonance, if I could use that word. Dissonance basically is just this feeling of unsettled. And especially when it comes to dating, there's so much that is out of your control. I have a joke that I make, but it's a tongue-in-cheek joke. I say dating and relationships would just be so easy if you could just control people. Because in reality, what is scary about life typically is the feeling of feeling out of control. If you can relate to that, you could put OOC for out of control. When things are out of your control, sorry, I got all my little pop-ups that keep coming up. When you feel out of control, it's destabilizing. And especially for the feminine in us, we want to feel stable at all times. We want to feel surety. We want to feel like when I wake up, I know the routine. I know what's going to happen. I know I'm safe. And in the natural, we are always searching for safety. And psychology is so interesting. Bear with me, you guys. I'm setting this up, I promise. Yes, the fear of the unknown. Psychology is so fascinating to the point where, even though I graduated from college years ago, 2002, I'm considering going back and taking some psychology classes because it is so fascinating what our mind does in the effort of trying to feel safe. And we can do things that make sense to us and our impulses, but from the outside looking in, it could even be sabotage. You know, for example, if you have a fear of abandonment, if you perceive someone to be about to abandon, you might say, hey, I'm throwing in the towel because it feels safer knowing that you have control over that situation than hanging in the murky unknown, waiting for that person to abandon you. You would rather be in control, at least feel like you are in control in that situation. But let's just say hypothetically, if your perception is off, that person may not have been about to abandon you, but you still went ahead and did that because that's your perception. Does that make sense? I really want to reach, and I did a warning. This isn't my normal live stream, okay? But I really want to reach specifically anyone who feels overwhelmed. Anyone who feels that their life is full of a lot of anxiety and they feel gripped with fear. And it's going to take a little bit of vulnerability even to stay on here if that's what you're experiencing. But I want to invite you. And the reason why I want to talk to you is because I have been where you are. I know what it feels like. I have felt the most extreme version of what you are feeling like. Candace, you're not going to make me cry. So she was already crying when I came to this live. I knew there was someone who needed to hear this. And I felt the Lord saying, you need to do this live stream right now. I wanted to go run some errands. I got some returns I got to do. And I need to do my 2 miles. But I kept hearing him say, you need to go live right now. And so thank you for the confirmation, because I know this is for one person in particular. So I'm going to share this. You guys can listen in, but this is for one person in particular, and you know who you are. We were not designed to experience fear and anxiety, internal strife, and confusion. I want to say that very, very clearly. We were designed intentionally. You were not an accident. You didn't stumble into creation like, oops, where did she come from? Where did he come from? You were intentionally designed by a designer, but you were not designed for strife, for confusion, for anxiety, and for fear. That was not your design. That is why your system is going haywire right now, because that's not what you were designed for. You were designed for perfect peace. Not just peace, perfect peace. I want to write something down. It's okay, Candace. That's a release. That's a release. It's okay. Don't try to stop it. There are gifts that are designed specifically for you, but the designer does not force you to take them any more than you force people to take a birthday gift or a Christmas gift. And I want to tell you what these gifts are that are just sitting under the tree. And you guys, if you've watched my stuff, you know I'm a word person. I'm a word, paint pictures with words. I love metaphors because for me, it makes it clear. But I want you to imagine wherever you are that you still have your Christmas tree up. And there are some gifts that are wrapped. These are the most beautifully wrapped gifts you've ever seen, the most beautiful bow. And these are what these gifts are. The first one is overwhelming love. The type of love that feels like satisfaction. That's the best way I can describe it. I'm not talking about romantic love from a man or a woman. I'm talking about this overwhelming feeling of satisfaction. That's the best way I can describe it, where all your needs are met emotionally and you feel you have what you need. It's like when you eat and your hunger isn't there anymore, you just feel very satisfied and you're just present and enjoying whatever's happening. So that first gift is love. If someone is willing to write love down, if you could write down love. These are gifts that are under the tree. Doesn't mean you're experiencing them right now. These are gifts that are under the tree. Thank you, Pray All Day. The second one is joy. This feeling that just, it's hard to express. Everything I'm about to tell you is really hard to describe, so I'm actually stumbling with words. But it's this joy that can't be taken from you. It's a joy. It's a very special kind of a joy. Usually joy is circumstantial. I saw, this funny comedy show and I laughed and laughed and laughed. Well, you're only going to be in that state while you're at that comedy show. You're only going to be at that state if you're around that thing externally that brings you joy, that best friend, that baby, that funny movie. But this joy is different. It's a joy that's almost in this impenetrable bubble and no one can take it from you. Situations can't take it from you. It's a joy that somebody had while in prison, literally chained, and they still felt it. It doesn't make sense to the rational mind, and I sound crazy talking about it, because that's not something that the average person experiences. We tend to experience joy that is relational to an external stimulant. Am I going too deep, you guys? I promise you, I don't want to go too deep. I want it to still be relatable. If anyone feels like it's too deep, just say too deep, and I promise you, I will try to take it down a few. I don't mean to overwhelm, okay? Okay, so far it's good. Okay, the third gift, I want you to look at these beautiful wrapped gifts. The third one is peace. And that third gift is one, and pardon me for this crass comparison, but it's kind of like what I would imagine, because I've never smoked weed, but I kind of imagine when people go, and your brain shuts off, and you're not constantly thinking about from a self, me, oh, what, how does this relate to me? How does this pertain to me? What am I going to do? It's like the shut off. You just, peace. But instead of the peace that comes temporarily through numbness, it's a peace that surpasses all understanding. It's this wave that comes over you, and it's just, imagine just the state of relaxation, like you perpetually are in a massage. Your mind is perpetually in a massage, and you're just, That's the third gift. Another gift, and I'm not going to go to all the gifts. The next gift that I do want to talk about is self-control. The interesting thing is, she said, is the next one, happiness. Joy surpasses happiness. Joy means that your spirit is just free, and it's basking in everything good. There isn't a higher level than joy. Joy is, nirvana is joy plus peace. I mean, this is my definition from what I've experienced. The last one I want to talk about is self-control. There are 4 others: kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, but I want to focus on self-control for the last one I want to talk about. Self-control means when I purpose to do something, I do it. Is there anyone here who doesn't feel like you are ultimately in control of your choices? Meaning, I want to lose weight, but I keep doing what puts weight on. I want to get better sleep, but I keep staying up late. I want to get my degree, but I won't study for my classes. These are very practical illustrations of not having self-control, control over self. You consciously want something, but self keeps overriding you. So this last gift is self-control. Imagine harnessing this wild horse, which is self, and now your consciousness, are finally holding the reins. You say go left, we go left. You say go right, we go right. You say we're going to lose weight, we're going to stop drinking soda and juice, we're going to drink water, we drink water. This isn't a fictional book that I'm reading to you from. This isn't some fantasy that I'm saying and describing to titillate you. This is a reality that some of you had no idea about. You can read more about these gifts in the scriptures. It's Galatians 5, 22 and 23. I was raised in a home where I was taught the Word of God. I was made aware since my earliest cognition that God existed. But unfortunately for me, I only understood God from a judge position who was judging, and we were passing or failing. Can you put a hand emoji if you've related to that experience? Your understanding of God is a judge sitting on a throne looking down like, are you passing or failing? And that's scary. It's nerve-wracking. You are always feeling guilty and condemned. It took me being at my breaking point in my 30s after my failed marriage to say, God, I want to know you. I want to understand who you are. Not what other people have told me, not what I've perceived up until this point. If you exist, and I believe that you do, I need to understand who you are. And I wanted a quick fix. I wanted this, hey, ChatGPT, this is before ChatGPT even existed, but I wanted this quick fix. I wanted to just have this information. And it was so annoying. Thank you for tapping everyone. It was so annoying that I couldn't get a quick answer, but I kept feeling the only way I can get this answer is to read the only thing I know or believe came from God. And it wasn't a sexy process. I was not a morning person. I did not like getting up early. But what I said was, God, I want to give you the beginning of my day where my kids are not up yet because they were little at the time. My husband is not up yet. And I want the quiet of the morning to be able to spend time and really focus on this reading. Will you wake me up? And if any of you guys are night owls, you understand that I was asking for an actual miracle. Like, I may as well have said, can you help me walk on water? Because I struggled to get up at 7:30 to take my kids to school. Like, I literally did the minimum to be presentable and was like, eat cereal, because I would sleep up until the actual second I had to get in the car and take them to school. That's how hard it was for me to wake up. So this person is praying to God, please wake me up, without an alarm. This was the first miracle I experienced. Do you know what happened? Bing, 4:30. The next day. Bing, 4:30. The next day. Bing, 4:30. The next day. I don't debate faith anymore. Because when you experience something like that, just that one shakes you. I got goosebumps in my sweatshirt right now, just remembering, because sometimes we forget the miracles we've seen so far. That alone had me shook to my core. I was like, okay. I got up. I would go down to the kitchen. I would lay out my Bible. And I said, I'm going to do this way because I know Jesus would do this. Jesus would get up early before all of his people started coming and talking to him and distracting him and doing all whatever he had to do that day. And he would check in. He would spend time with God. So I said, if Jesus, the Christ, the actual Son of God in the flesh, needed this interaction, let's start there. Let's start there. What's something's happening here, and I want a piece of this action. And the first day, I felt nothing. And the second day, I felt nothing. And the third day, I felt nothing. Fourth day, fifth day, sixth day, seventh day. It took about 2 weeks before my actual conscious mind started to become aware of a change. And y'all know I'm a word picture person. Now looking back, what I understand is, please don't quote me. This is the way that my human mind can explain what I believe was happening. I believe in the spirit realm, we can be malnourished. A good comparison would be dehydration. We experience the symptoms of spiritual dehydration, and then you start to put the IV in your arm. But the second that IV goes into your vein isn't the second you feel relief. It takes a while for that fluid to come and travel through your blood and get to all the places. And I'm not a medical person, but you know what I'm saying. It takes a while for it to permeate and take over. Same thing with the headache. You don't get relief the second you put the ibuprofen in your mouth. It takes a while to go through your system. And if you've ever seen an old-fashioned pump, water pump, you know that if you crank the handle, it's not like a modern faucet where you push a button in the school or hallway and then psh, water comes out. If you know about an old-fashioned crank handle, what's the difference? Raya, I'm not sure why you feel the need to share that right now, but I would ask that at this time you could be still. I don't want to distract from other people. So if you would, I would ask if you could just be still and receive, because I want everyone to be able to receive right now without distraction. I thank you in advance. If you've ever seen a well, an old-fashioned well with a big crank handle, does anyone know how it works? I don't understand literally how it works, but you crank it in order to put pressure. And when you put pressure, the pressure is beneath the water. And as you crank the handle, the water begins to come to the surface. But if you don't understand the dynamics, or what do we call the physics of an old-fashioned pump, if all you're used to is the pump that you see in modern high schools, you just push the button and the water starts shooting out, you might have gotten the water all the way up here, and let's say here's the top, but because you don't see anything with your eyes, you're unaware of all the pressure that you've built up so far. Are you guys following me yet? Is it making sense what I'm saying yet? And I want to invite you, I told you this is for one particular person. I know you're watching. I want you to pump. I want you to start pumping. And I want you, when you start to feel like, man, maybe it worked for her, but not for me, and you're ready to give up, I want you to realize it's not that nothing is happening. You just need to keep going until that refreshing water comes out. I'm not talking about months. I'm not talking about years. He is too kind and too gracious and too merciful. All he asks you to do is to pursue. The way that you, what is the word? There's a lyric, but it talks about this like reckless pursuit. It's almost aggressive. It's almost primal. It's this demanding. I want. But you're acknowledging, I know where it's coming from. I know who is providing this. And you can come aggressively with your cup. I was almost shouting this morning, fill my cup, fill my cup, fill my cup. It's not a disrespectful, angry demand. It's a primal, visceral, not visceral, it's a primal, reckless love. Yes, come on, Vanessa. Oh, the everlasting, never-ending, reckless love of God. That's the lyric I was actually thinking about, but it wasn't the context I was thinking. But thank you, I love that lyric. You need to come. There's a Bible people tell me where this is if you want the scripture reference, or I can Google it. But there's this this analogy of this woman who comes to the king and she is demanding help. She's demanding help. If she could have shaken the king like this, she would have. And he said, that's how I want you to come to me. I want to find it, you guys. Give me a second, okay? I'm telling you, this is unconventional. Just please give me a second. Luke 18, 1 through 8. It is a persistent widow. This was a parable. This was a word picture. Ooh, Turks and Caicos. It was a parable. As I said, there's a reason why I like word pictures, because Jesus liked to do word pictures. Thank you, Vanessa. He said, always pray and not give up. So I'm going to read to you. I'm going to read to the NIV version. That's just the one that popped up. And this is Luke 18, 1 through 8. Those of you who want to go read for yourself. Always read for yourself if someone quotes the scripture. Go read for yourself and read it in context. It says, then Jesus told his disciples a parable to show them that they should always pray and not give up. He said, in a certain town there was a judge. See, I said king. Judge. Who neither feared not God or cared what people thought. And there was a widow in that town who kept coming to him with the plea, grant me justice against my adversary. Basically, make it right against her enemy. And for some time he refused, but finally he said to himself, even though I don't fear God or care what people think, yet because this widow keeps bothering me, I'm going to see that she gets justice so that eventually she won't come and attack me. And the Lord says, listen to what an unjust judge says. That's what an unjust judge says. This person just keeps relentlessly asking, let me just give her what she's asking for. He said, that's what an unjust judge says. And God will not bring, he said, and will God not bring about justice for his chosen ones who cry out to him day and night? Is he going to keep putting them off? Now, in this context, it says, I tell you, he will see they get justice and quickly, and quickly. Is that clicking? It reminds me of the other verse that says, you who are evil, you know how to give good gifts. So can you even imagine what a holy God would give when it comes to gifts? I'll give you that verse. Whoever this is for, it's going to click. Whoever this is for is going to click. Matthew 7, 11 through 12. If you then, being evil, know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will your Father who is in heaven give good things to those who ask him? Like, don't you see Jesus' face? Like, are you not getting this, people? Like, what? And it took me reading the scriptures to finally get a clear vision of who God is, an understanding of who God is. He is not a judge sitting on a throne judging and like, oh, these stupid people, they just can't get it right. He is a daddy. That's why the Hebrew is Abba, daddy, who chose to create these children, and he knows the path to the best enjoyable life, the fullest life, the most rich life, the most fulfilling life. But he's not a narcissistic control freak who's going to force them to do it. Hey, if you stay off drugs and you hang around the right people and you save your money and you build your credit, hey, you're going to have the best life possible. But all I can do is just lead you to water. I can't force you to drink. I'm not going to make you drink, and I'm not going to condemn you if you don't drink. But if you could see me in my private time, I'm crying. Because I see you, child, strung out on drugs. You're giving your body because you think that's how you're going to feel love. You're stealing because you can't control yourself. You're numbing your pain with alcohol. I don't judge you. My heart is breaking for you because I made you. I made you by hand. Before you even came out of your mother's womb, I designed you in my mind, and I perfectly had a plan for how you would fit into this world. And I timed your conception to the point where you would come out at the time I wanted you to come out, because you have something instrumental that you're going to do in this life that affects other people. And I'm this master orchestrator, and I see how all can come together so that when you get to that place where you start to get your gifts and you start to feel so whole, now you have the strength to turn to your brother and reach out to him. There's a master design. And what I felt led to do this morning is to get on this live stream. Instead of coming to do my errands, which is what I purposed to do this morning, I want to get my 2 miles in, go run my errands. And I felt this overwhelming nudge to come on this live stream because I heard him say, someone is feeling anxious. Someone is feeling confused. Someone is striving with the situation or a person. Someone is overwhelmed by fear. And they don't want to check out of this life. They just know they can't continue at this particular way, in this way. I struggle to do these things live because I'm a very emotional person and I feel a lot of emotions. And so when I cry, I can't speak well. So I apologize. I'm trying not to cry. The irony is that these aren't sad tears, it's joy. And I wish I could bottle it up and give it to people. These are tears of satisfaction, because when you are where you're supposed to be, that's the word. It's a release. And it feels good. I still want to get the words out. So Lord, let me get the words out, please. I am here to make you aware, if you did not know, that under the tree, those gifts are there. Those gifts are there, the ones I described. This was not a fictional story that I just made up. Those gifts are there. Comment me if you want those gifts. Joy, love, peace, self-control. In the 10 years that I have done this, I have never felt led to do this, but I feel led to say a prayer with you right now. Those of you who commented me, I want you, because this might be foreign to you, I want to model for you, and you could say it with me, what it's like to talk to your dad, who describes himself as source. I'm source. I'm source of everything. So I would like you to take a moment, unless you're driving, I want you to close your eyes. After you've written me, I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to just be so present in this moment. If you're around other people, go in a closet. Go somewhere, go in a bathroom, close the door, sit on the floor. I want you to have a moment where you could just not be overwhelmed by your senses. I want you to just be able to sit in a place where you can close your eyes and listen. Can you guys do that? Obviously, if you're driving, don't do that. And this is what I want you to say. Those of you who can say it out loud, I want you to say it out loud. God, I believe you are out there. I don't know all the answers. My natural mind wants things I can see, touch, taste, feel. But I have just enough faith that I'm willing to say this prayer right now. I'm not going to pretend like I understand. I'm not going to pretend like I do this well. I just have enough faith. And your word says that if I have the faith of a mustard seed, which you've ever looked at, is really small, that's all it needs. That's all you need, God. And I know I'm praying, but I'm going to speak to you in the middle of this prayer and then go back into the prayer. Understand that God is listening to you specifically. You have been on his mind specifically. There are angels literally rejoicing right now, so excited for about what's to come. It's like you're the quarterback and you're about to run the biggest touchdown in the Super Bowl of all Super Bowls. God is waiting, has been waiting. He's listening. And he's allowed everything in your life to happen up until this point so that you could be as vulnerable as possible. Because without vulnerability, you cannot hear what is so quiet. If this is what you believe, I want you to say it out loud if you can. God, I'm ready. I am ready to finally be able to hear from you. I believe that you have these gifts for me because you promised them: love, joy, peace, self-control. And your word says that I need to confess that you are God. You are the one in control. I'm not in control. That I need to surrender and say, I am choosing voluntarily to surrender my life. What that means is your will takes a back seat to God's will, and your natural mind is going to think that's really scary. But the reality is he created you, so he's about to give you the actual user manual to you. He's not going to do anything that doesn't benefit you. He even went so far as to say, whatever you want for your life and whatever you can imagine, have your little toes curling and getting all excited, he said, that's child's play. I want to give you exceedingly and abundantly above all that you ask. He said, you can't even pray for yourself the way I can. I want to give you more than you can even ask for. But he said, I want you to voluntarily surrender. I want you to voluntarily surrender because he is a gentleman and he never forces himself. And he's so merciful that he allows our pain to melt us like butter, because only when the butter is soft is when it's pliable. Dough gets really hard, you can't form cookies. So God allows that dough to sit in a temperature that will soften it to where it's pliable. and can put you into the position that you can receive all those gifts. The Bible says if you confess with your mouth in Romans 10:9, if you confess with your mouth the Lord Jesus and you believe in your heart that God has raised him from the dead, you will be saved. What I'm led to do is to invite you to continue to talk to the Lord. You don't need to know everything. You don't need to have fancy prayers. You talk to him like you would talk to any person. You would talk to your natural father if you had an amazing relationship with your natural father. And just say, what do you want from me? I particularly like the Lord's Prayer because it was something that Jesus specifically said. I just love words that are from Jesus directly. And I love what he covers in this prayer. And I'm going to go over it right now. It says, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. What that does is acknowledges the source. He said, you are our Father, that you recognize that there are more than one of you. We are all his children, and he's our Father. What a beautiful image. And he's in heaven. He's got this under control. This puts you in a position of, I don't have to figure it out. And then it moves into, hallowed be thy name. Once you recognize who he is, you have to worship. You have to honor him. You have to, woo, that's big. That's, wow. You give reverence. And he loves to hear that from his children. Just like we like praises and compliments. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. What you're saying is, I'm going to get out of the way. I'm going to allow your will to be done and use me how you see fit. And this is my favorite part right here. Give us this day, us. You know what I said, us? Because we're all here together. Give us this day our daily bread. And this is, I could do a whole hour in this verse, this segment. He said, give us, there's brothers and sisters, you're not by yourself. This day, we're only focusing on today. Anxiety focuses on tomorrow and the next day and the next hour. We're only focusing on right now in this prayer. Give us this day our daily bread. Daily bread goes back to the analogy in the Old Testament where God said, I'm physically going to drop bread from up above. You're going to wake up each day, come out of your tent, and you are going to see what they call manna on the ground. And he said, don't keep it overnight. I believe the reason is because he wanted to see if they would obey. One, but two, he's proving you don't sustain yourself. He's allowing them to build faith in him. I only save for tomorrow if I don't think it's coming back the next day. I only set aside daily food if I don't truly believe that there's going to be food the next day. Because why else would you choose leftovers if you understood that every day you're going to get a fresh new plate out of the oven? Why would you want old microwave fries when you could have fresh fries out of the grease? Why would you want a flat soda pop if you go to the Midwest when you could have a fresh one that you popped open? See why I love that part? Give us this day our daily bread. And I just imagine, I'm a visual person. I imagine whatever IV he's got. I'm like, oh yeah, God, give me another vial of that. Oh yeah. Because it feels like nirvana. In the English language, the only thing we have is nirvana that comes close to expressing what it feels like to have this IV drip. And the IV drip comes from those gifts. Love, joy, peace, patience, self-control, self-discipline, kindness. My God, how did you walk away from that without punching her in the face? How did you not put hands on your baby mama after she stopped you from seeing your children that you're legally entitled to see? how is it that you didn't drink that soda? You are addicted to Dr. Pepper. There isn't an answer. There isn't a natural, logical answer. You begin to be a different person. And this was the thing that freed me from that little girl who knew about God and thought of him as a judge in the sky. I believed that I had to willpower myself into doing what he said I should do so I wouldn't feel guilty, but all I did was feel more and more guilty. When I finally realized in my 30s, after seeking him with my whole heart, I finally understood. He said, all you gotta do, baby girl, is lay down and put your arm out. Put that IV in. Find the vein, put it in. And be still and know that I am God. I'll do the rest. Woo! Comment click if that clicked for you. Comment click if that clicked. The difference between striving to please God and get that holy tick, that check box, versus he's like, baby, just get on the chair. Get on the table. You know, when you go to the hospital, you get on that little stretcher. Just get on the, I don't know, the gurney. Just get on the thing. Just get in the hospital bed. That's it. You have to voluntarily choose to get on that hospital bed every day. And if you've ever seen that movie, oh, go watch it, you guys. Surrogate, I think, with Demi Moore's husband. He's having mental issues. Bruce Willis. I might go back and watch that today. You're right. Surrogate, yeah. I think it's Surrogate. I don't want to ruin it for you. Well, I'm going to... should I ruin it for you? I don't... because I'm going to take away like the big cliffhanger, the big aha reveal in the end, but I want to make this point. Let me not ruin it. Please watch it. Please watch it, okay? On Netflix, if you have Netflix. Let me just say this. When you are going through life, you are in the matrix, okay? Bear with me. I speak in word pictures, okay? Okay, I won't ruin it. When you go through life, you are in the matrix. That's all you've known. As you start to voluntarily talk to your daddy every day and say, please give me my daily bread, you are going to start getting a transfusion spiritually. And the Bible calls it scales. They will be removed from your eyes. There are spiritual scales. So you have your natural eyes. You can look and see the phone, right? But your spiritual eyes, you will start to gain an understanding. The wax will be pulled out of your ears. And you will start to hear things that you hadn't heard before. Okay? And what's going to happen is, please don't quote me. This is my understanding based on my experience. It is almost as though it lasts for a day. Please don't quote me and say I'm saying this is not Bible. I'm saying what I experienced. I feel like we have enough of the vial to get us through that 24-hour period. And the next day, we have to voluntarily come back and put that IV back in. Believers, do you feel anything in your spirit like pushing back on that analogy? Because I don't want to misspeak. But my believers who are strong in your faith, does that metaphor line up with your experiences, your understanding of the word? I'm looking for accountability right now, as I'm looking to do help and not harm. Okay, I'm counting on my brothers and sisters in Christ to keep me aligned. So what I'm inviting you to do is right now, comment me if you said the prayer, or you can put the little prayer hands emoji. I want to see how many of you said that prayer, because I want to celebrate with you. The angels are rejoicing. They said literally, your name was just written today in what's called the Lamb's Book of Life. Your name was added today. That's not a metaphor. He said there is a book and he just wrote your name today. It is the club of all clubs. And when we finish living this life with skin and bones, because we keep going, there is the most phenomenal club. And the bouncer is going to say, honey, is your name in this book? This is Bible. Go read it. This is Bible. He just don't say nightclub. There is the most lit experience. Everyone's going to want to get in. He's going to say, is your name in it? And this shook me because I was raised in the church. And it shook me that I realized he was talking to believers when he said this, or talking to people in the church when he said this. He said, there are many who are going to come and say, excuse me, I should be on that list. And he's going to look, and your name's not on there. And they're going to say, no, but I did all these churchy things. I did a lot of stuff in Jesus' name. I was posting on Facebook and I was reading my devotionals in my Bible app, and I said worship. I had worship music playing, and he's going to say, okay, what's the name again? Okay. And he's going to say, depart from me. I never knew you. I like to go to the original language because we lose a lot in English. I'm going to do this in real time because I've never looked up the word new. We're going to look at the word new in the original language because I know what I understand it to mean. We're going to go into I believe that's Revelation, so that would be Greek. We're going to look it up in the Greek. Oh, excuse me. I was wrong. It was not Revelation, but it is Greek, the New Testament. It's Matthew 21, 27, and 23. Hold on, y'all. We doing this in real time. We not a Bible study in real time. I used to do my weekly Bible studies on Instagram. That was awesome. Okay. What is the Greek word for new in Matthew 21? What was it? 7, 21 through 23. This is how you study the scripture, guys. Because you start getting excited, you get hungry, you want to understand. You're like, I want more truth, I want more truth. You start getting addicted to the truth. And because the more you get the truth, it literally sets you free. It's a thing. Like, the truth literally sets you free. It brings you to a state of nirvana. Okay, so new. It's translated, I never knew you. I can't pronounce it properly, probably, but it says egnon. It means it's an active indicative. It means to know, to recognize, to perceive, and have relational knowledge of. Not intellectual knowledge, like I know you existed. It means I had an experience with you. I had intimacy with you. I had a relationship with you. Jesus said in John 10, I know my sheep. The same exact word was used in Genesis to say, I knew my wife. Biblically, like, I knew. It means you have an intimate relationship. Not saying sexual, but it's alluding to intimate relationship with him. You can only have intimate relationship with someone when you spend quality time. So I'm not going to overwhelm you with step 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What I've invited you today to do is first say, I would like to enter into a relationship with you. He already is wanting it. Before you were born, he was wanting a relationship with you. He actually just knew that on January 3rd, 2026, you would finally accept. He trying to go together with you real bad, and you finally said, okay, I will. That's what happened today. And then your name got written in the book. And now it's just all you are required to do is every day show up and put the IV in your arm. What does that look like? Talking to him. Start getting yourself a playlist of worship music. Because we worship. It physically does something to us, by the way, when we worship. It physically does something when we open our mouth. The sound comes out. Even as the vibration is coming out, something happens in the spirit realm. It also happens in the natural realm. And then you're going to start to read. The reason you have to read is not because good boys and girls read the Bible and then you get a gold sticker. No. It's literally the instruction manual on how you are wired. And when you start when you start to function the way you're supposed to, you have the maximum performance, which equates to love, joy, peace. If I don't understand I'm mostly made of water and I deprive myself of water, it's not that I got to be a good girl and drink my water. It's now I understand, oh my God, my blood needs water, my lungs need water, my skin needs water, my stomach needs water, my colon needs water. Oh my God, my skin cells need water. And then as you start to drink water, you're like, oh my goodness, my skin is glowing. My mouth isn't so dry. Oh my gosh, my nails aren't as brittle. I have more energy. I'm sleeping better. Whoa. And then you're like, give me more of this. Okay, well, that was water. Well, what does it say about sleep? Whoa. If I get 7 to 8 hours of sleep, okay, my health is, oh my gosh. I wake up vitalized and energized, and I keep a sleep schedule, and I go to sleep when the sun goes down, and I wake up when the sun wakes up. Oh my God, just in the natural. The more you understand about the way that our body is designed, the more we can work with our system to maximize our experience in the natural. Our natural experience, our fleshly experience, our five senses experience. That's why one 90-year-old is going to have a very different experience than another 90-year-old. One 90-year-old who's been active and eating right and exercising and stimulating their mind versus another one who was a couch potato that was smoking a whole pack a day and chugging whiskey. They're going to have a different experience physically. But understand, your daddy, your Abba, wants you to have that vibrant, oh man, I have so much coming out of me. I just want to pour it all over you. When people get blessed with so much money that they can't spend, do you know what they can't wait to do? They want to bless other people. Whoa, the freedom I have, knowing I have all my needs taken care of. Oh, I could see you, a single mom struggling to make ends meet. Oh, I'm going to give you $1,000. Oh, I don't, 1,000 can fall out of my wallet. I wouldn't even notice. Here's a car. You start to be aware that you can't take the stuff with you, and you just want to give and give and give. And man, if it feels so good to be blessed, I want to bless someone else. That's in the natural, and I'm using natural descriptions because you can relate to that probably. Maybe you've just never had enough money. You can't even imagine having so much you want to give it away. But if you've ever had enough, or you cooked a meal, and you're like, I physically can't eat anymore. And you're asking people, please take a to-go bag. Please go to your neighbor's house. Girl, I have so much turkey left over. I have so much stuffing left over, so much dressing. So please, it's going to go to waste. Please take it. Or you love baking. I made you cook. Please take them. That's what it feels like when you are overwhelmed with all of the gifts he gives you. That instead of going about your day and running errands and doing your 2 miles, you jump on a live stream and you do the best you can with your fumbly words to try to paint the picture so that a stranger on TikTok or Instagram can understand enough to take that next step and start to tap in so you guys can all be spiritually high together. That's all I got. I am going to save this one. I haven't saved a video in years, a live stream. I'm going to save this one. And I'm going to put it on YouTube. For anybody, is there anyone who didn't see the beginning? And I'm going to be obedient and do that. So what I commit to doing is downloading it. Takes a while. I got to do the thumbnail, all that jazz. Then I'll put the link in my story here on Instagram and TikTok. Okay? I'm excited for you. Welcome to the family. You are my brothers. You are my sisters now. Keep talking to him daily. Keep tapping in. It's nirvana. That's all I can say is nirvana. God bless you. I love you.